Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Drip, drip. Water droplets the size of beans fell from the leaves, resulting in a continuous dripping sound. Yibei fought hard to open his eyes. Where is this? Why does my body hurt so badly? As he said this, his vision gradually became clearer. When his surroundings finally came into view, he shuddered violently. Everything in his field of vision was completely blood red. All around him were unidentifiable plants, and each one was the size of a gigantic tree. Also, there were many trees, and the water droplets falling from the tree leaves looked bigger than his head. Near him, there were many pieces of eggshells stained and sticky with crimson blood, and the strong metallic smell of blood permeated the air. Yibei had never imagined that such a weird place existed in this world. However, after a few moments of shock, Yibei soon calmed down. Although his head throbbed excruciatingly, his memories still surfaced clearly. It seemed that day all the employees from his company had been on a plane headed abroad for a vacation when the plane encountered a violent storm. The plane had slowly lost control during the storm, and when it was close to crashing, Yibei's most trusted assistant handed the parachute to him, then opened the emergency door and jumped out. As to what happened after that, his mind was a complete blank. Judging from the situation, I survived the plane crash? Yibei thought to himself before feeling strangely overcome with sadness. Zhao Hang, Chen Changsong, Wang Shuo, Li Yu, Wang Shengyun. Please be alive and well. You have to be alive, he muttered to himself. Hiss hiss. However, even though Yibei was clearly speaking in a human tongue, when he said these words aloud, all he could hear was the sound of hissing. What sound is that? An ominous premonition came over Yibei, and he forcibly tried to move his body. As he did this, his eyes slowly came to rest on his body. The very next second, he was stunned into immobility, his eyes filled to the brim with shock. What is this? This is my body? How is this possible? Why do I have the body of a snake? Is this a dream? Hiss hiss hiss. Yibei exclaimed to himself. He couldn't bring himself to accept the current situation, because when he looked down at himself, all he could see was a blood-stained body covered with patterns and a long tail that was constantly twisting around. Rustle, rustle, rustle. Yibei was frozen stiff, his mind filled with countless questions. At that moment, a rustling sound suddenly came from beside him. Yibei's eyes almost popped out of their sockets. A huge creature had quietly appeared before his eyes without him even realizing it. The creature was similarly covered in patterns all over its body, and a red forked tongue kept poking out of its mouth. That huge body was easily a few hundred times bigger than his own, and its eyes were blood red. Its breath was cold, and it seemed capable of swallowing everything in its wake. This was a giant python, and it was the largest being Yibei had ever set eyes on. I'm finished. Am I going to have to die again? Seeing this monster, Yibei felt desperate. However, the monster didn't seem to harbor any intention of harming Yibei. Although it exuded a terrifying aura, the very moment it came near, Yibei sensed an illusion of warmth. Soon enough, the monster opened its mouth wide. It was blood red and gave off a nauseatingly pungent odor. Then, Yibei's eyes widened even further. As the monster opened its mouth wide, it unexpectedly spit out a silver-white pearl. The pearl was very large. It was approximately 10 times bigger than Yibei's entire body. Gurgle, gurgle. However, as the pearl slowly appeared, Yibei suddenly felt a hunger he had never felt before. His stomach even began to growl. His instincts told him that this pearl was edible in its current form. However, logic was telling him that if he swallowed such a huge pearl whole, his body would burst. As for the giant monster, it quickly disappeared into the woods after spitting the pearl out beside Yibei. As he looked at the crimson bloodstain on the ground, Yibei finally determined a few facts. First, he was indeed still alive, but he had become a snake. Second, this was a completely foreign island, and judging from the eggshells around him, he had just hatched. If he wanted to live, He had to rely on his own strength and ability to survive in this unknown forest island. Third, the giant monster from moments before was very possibly his mother. These facts were too much for Yibei to swallow at the moment. In his previous life, he had been the boss of a domestically renowned company. Each word he uttered and every decision he made impacted tens of thousands of people. What a great irony it was now that he had become a newborn snake. Gurgle, gurgle. Gurgle, gurgle. Yibei's body remained coiled in its original position as he pondered for some time. It wasn't until the hunger in his stomach became increasingly intense that he gradually broke free of his thoughts. Finally, motivated by his hunger, he broke free from the constraints of reason. He opened his mouth wide, headed wildly for the silver-white pearl, and swallowed it. The pearl was huge. Yibei had originally assumed that the pearl would be very hard. However, the moment his mouth came in contact with the pearl, he realized that the pearl was extremely soft. Gurgle, gurgle. When the originally huge pearl was swallowed, and even after Yibei's mouth was stretched to 270 degrees, he still felt no discomfort whatsoever. As the pearl disappeared into his mouth, a quick and scorching burst of energy passed through his mouth and spread throughout his entire body. He clearly hadn't chewed it at all, but it tasted delicious. Indeed, the neurotransmitters in his brain told him that the pearl was extremely delicious. Furthermore, the burning energy made him feel as if every cell in his body was erupting in cheers. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Hiss, hiss. His throat bobbed up and down, and his muscles continued to lengthen. The pearl was initially 10 times larger than his own body, but within less than 3 minutes, Yibei had swallowed more than half of it. Naturally, if any human had witnessed that sight right there and then, they would have been stunned by what they saw. In the time it took for Yibei's body to digest the pearl, his body rapidly increased in size at a rate visible to the naked eye. By the time Yibei had finished swallowing and digesting the entire pearl, his body had shot from its initial size of approximately 30 centimeters to more than 1 meter. His body had also grown at least 5 times thicker. I'm so full, and I feel so full of power. After he finished consuming the pearl, he lay down in his original spot and burped. He muttered words of contentment to himself, but when the words reached his ears, they sounded like hisses from the forked tongue of a snake. However, as Yibei lay down in his spot, intending to rest after eating, a strange voice suddenly rang in his ear. Congratulations to the host on consuming the mystic pearl. The unlimited evolution system has begun. As long as you continue to capture even more powerful creatures, you will one day become a real dragon that travels the 9 heavens. What? Yibei heard this statement very clearly. He was 100% sure that he wasn't having an auditory hallucination or a dream. Could it be that after he had become a snake, he had successfully turned on an operating system? Just as Yibei froze in shock, a clear screen immediately appeared before his eyes. There was information recorded on it, all relating to himself. Huge plant. Huge trees. In the desert island forest, the sound of wild beasts came out from time to time. In the distance of the sky, a bright rainbow hung, and it was obvious that there was a heavy rain not long ago. Birds fly by from time to time around. Sometimes some reptiles pass by. It's just that Yibei now has no mood to care about these things. Occupying in a snake den between the tree trunks, he stared wide-eyed, staring blankly at the fluorescent screen that appeared before him. Infinite evolution system. Name: Yibei. Species: blood python. Age: under 1 year old. Young python. Lifespan: 10 years. Evolution points: 1/1000. Grade: LV1. Language: snake language. Ability: none. Apostle: none. Territory: none. Task: ask the host to carry out the next stage of evolution at the fastest speed in order to obtain self-protection ability. D. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the infinite evolution system. Now you will be rewarded with a big gift package. May I ask if the host is enabled? Yes. Just such words appeared on the screen in front of Yibei's eyes. After seeing these, eBay felt more and more dreaming. It's fine to become a snake. Now a snake can still be carried. Is the system such a high-tech product? The heart is magnificent. But in the end, eBay forcibly calmed down. Since this is the case now, being able to survive in this forest is the most important thing. At least in the future, there may be a chance to become a true dragon in the legend, retransform into a human form, and return to what belongs to humans. With this thought, eBay spoke again. System, how can I get the gift pack? Just say to open the package. The system's voice is somewhat mechanized, and the speed of this answer makes eBay feel quite amazed. Then open it. Try to calm down. After the sound fell, the fluorescent screen in front of me changed again. I saw a yellow copper box suddenly appeared on the screen. The box slowly opened. eBay opened his eyes wide and suddenly found that there were two in the box. Sharp teeth. What is this? I'm all curious. The system is very user-friendly and explained immediately. Congratulations to the host for opening the bronze gift pack and getting a pair of cobra fangs. Please decide whether to carry it. Remarks. As a python that wants to incarnate as a real dragon, if it doesn't even have a good mouth, what is the difference with salted fish? So smart. Seeing the teeth and hearing the system's voice, eBay was taken aback for a moment. Of course, carry it. Immediately afterwards, he said unceremoniously. As soon as the words fell, eBay suddenly discovered that there were two more things in his mouth. It was a pair of teeth full of venom, and the moment it appeared, it was completely integrated with eBay's body. At this moment, eBay discovered that as long as his thoughts move, he can easily control the release of toxins in the fangs. Even an elephant, if bitten by these fangs, would be paralyzed on the spot. This fang is very powerful. With this thing, if you save your life, it is probably no problem. eBay nodded slightly, satisfied with this brass gift bag. So, the system, evolution points, how can I get them? When will I become a true dragon if I meet the evolution conditions? Continue to ask. Evolution points are judged based on the strength of the creatures swallowed by the host. The stronger the life, the more points you get. In addition, the host's body has been systematically modified. As long as there are a sufficient number of creatures, the host can swallow it indefinitely. The problem of bursting. This is too great. eBay's eyes lit up when he heard this. If it is really like what the system says, then you only need to eat it all the way. Eat a more powerful creature, and one day, you will evolve into a real dragon and have the opportunity to transform into a human form. It was just that this thought had just arisen, and eBay's heart suddenly rebelled. Now I am a snake. If I want to evolve, I have to eat living things, but after all I still have human consciousness. If I really eat, just thinking about it would be disgusting enough. Okay? Entangled in the snake den, eBay began to fall into a fierce psychological struggle. Okay. However, after about 10 minutes, a gluttonous fragrance floated into eBay's nose. Golyulu. Inside the body, the feeling of hunger reappeared. Following the smell of the food, eBay twisted this brand new body and carefully left the snake nest covered with eggshells. His body was wrapped around the tree trunk, almost instinctively climbing along the fragrance. This is a huge tree with staggered branches. 3 minutes later, eBay saw a bird's nest built entirely of dead wood. The strong fragrance came from the bird's nest. Is it a bird? That thing, is it really going to be eaten? His eyes were staring at the bird's nest. eBay's heart was still struggling, but the cold killing intent in those eyes made the surrounding air begin to cool down. Zzz. 1 step, 2 steps. Quietly, try not to make any noises. The body slowly appeared beside the birdhouse. Looked up. The first time he prayed, eBay was still quite worried. But when he raised his head and looked at the bird's nest, he found that it was actually a bird egg the size of 15 human fists. In his originally entangled eyes, there was a glow of excitement and heat. It turned out to be a bird egg. Great. It seems that the first meal is quite good. This thought came to mind. Then, his head quickly reached the bird's nest, his mouth opened wide, and one bite was to smash one of the bird eggs. The warm egg yolk splashed around, and the rich fragrance made Yi-Bei very comfortable. As the fresh egg yolk poured into the mouth, the sound of the system immediately resounded. Congratulations to the host for successfully swallowing a black eagle egg and gaining dozens of evolution points. 1 egg, 10 evolution points? It seems that this point is not difficult to obtain. Yi-Bei thought excitedly, and at the same time, his cold eyes quickly locked on the second egg. It's just that Yi-Bei at this moment didn't notice at all. Not far from the sky above the nest of bird eggs, a black eagle with cold eyes was swiftly flapping its wings and hitting this side with incredible speed. Come, click, click. The black carving egg tastes quite good. Perhaps it was because of the blood python's taste. When eating, the wonderful taste made Yi-Bei extremely comfortable. Moreover, after the bird's egg is in the mouth, it immediately turns into a warm energy, which quickly radiates around the body. In addition, with the help of the system, Yi-Bei felt that even if he ate all the 15 bird eggs in one go, he would not be supported. Of course, psychologically, he is still under great pressure. This practice of eating raw bird eggs makes him always feel too and cruel. The second bird egg, the fifth egg, Yi-Bei quickly became fascinated by the feeling of being able to eat delicacies unscrupulously. The last 10 bird eggs were swallowed by him with his mouth wide open. After eating 15 bird eggs, the evolution point reached 150 points, and only 850 points were needed for evolution. System, this speed is a bit slow. If you want to upgrade, you need so many points. Is there a faster way? Yi-Bei asked seriously, feeling the scent of food remaining in his mouth. Host, 1 egg is 10 o'clock, and 100 eggs can complete evolution. This is the limit. If you want faster evolution, you can find powerful creatures to swallow it. The system answers quickly. Okay. Yi-Bei knew he was a little impatient. Things like eating should be done slowly. Li. However, just as Yi-Bei was about to continue to look for other food around here, and when he was evolving rapidly, a harsh eagle call came to his head. Instinctively look up. In the next second, I clearly saw a huge eagle rushing down. Shocked by the sky. Wow. His movements are agile, and his wings make a rattling noise when they fly over the leaves. Bye. Wouldn't it be so unlucky? The bird egg that I ate just now belongs to this eagle? You know the eagle is the natural enemy of the snake. Yi-Bei's pupils shrank, and a sense of crisis that made his body tremble spread to his whole body. He stared at the flying eagle and even forgot to escape for a while. Host, you must kill him. As long as you eat this eagle, you can complete the first step of evolution. Yi-Bei dumbfounded. The sound of the system sounded again. Hearing this voice, Yi-Bei's body was agitated. Suddenly, a huge desire to survive was boiling in his mind. This has just been reborn, absolutely can't die. Being killed by an eagle, this is a great humiliation. Calm down, be calm. He has the fangs of a cobra, and as long as he finds the opportunity to bite the eagle, he will win. Thinking of this, Yi-Bei quickly calmed down. Come on, let me have a full meal. Chi. A scarlet letter was spitting in his mouth. The two sharp fangs looked very cold. Although Yi-Bei's body is only more than 1 meter now, this look, at first glance, is quite shocking. As for the eagle, it is not affected by Yi-Bei's fierce appearance. The pitch-black claws exude killing intent. From top to bottom, he grabbed Yi-Bei's body fiercely. 10 meters. 5 meters. 1 meter. It is not so much that the eagle now wants to hunt Yi-Bei. It's better to say that at this moment, Yi-Bei is hunting for food. Laugh. Coming. The pitch-black claws stretched forward suddenly, and when the huge wings were waving, a hurricane was generated, and Yi-Bei's body was a little out of control. Hard bite it. When the sharp claws grabbed towards his body, Yi-Bei controlled his body and moved at the fastest speed. The 1 meter long snake was twisted into an S shape. The sharp fangs sneered. With a sound, he bit on the eagle's thigh. At the same time, a piercing pain spread throughout the body. While biting the eagle, Yi-Bei's body was also caught by the eagle. Wow! The sharp claws caused Yi-Bei's body to be bloody, and after Yibei bit the eagle's leg, he forcibly resisted the pain of his body and madly controlled the toxins to be injected into his body. If you don't kill this eagle, then you will die. The cobra's poison is extremely violent. If human beings are bitten, within 3 seconds, they will poison themselves and die. The eagle was still struggling while being bitten, which directly caused the toxin to expand faster. As the toxins invaded, the strength of the eagle became weaker and weaker. For 2 seconds, the eagle, which was still imposing, seemed to be evacuated of all its power. Its eyes widened, and it fell weakly into the nest, and its wings twitched slightly. But it didn't cause any harm to Yibei. Great! Seeing the eagle stop struggling, Yibei was overjoyed. Golyulu. Immediately afterwards, an unprecedented feeling of hunger spread all over the body, covering up all the pain on the body. Eat the eagle. As long as you eat it, you can complete the next stage of evolution and get a chance to survive on this desert island. In my mind, there seemed to be such a voice constantly repeating. All the eagles with black hair. In Yibei's eyes, it seemed to be the most delicious food. Laugh. After hesitating for a second or two, physical instinct easily defeated reason. Wow. In the next second, Yibei grew his mouth. His sharp fangs raged on the eagle, and then the huge mouth swallowed it directly. Warm blood, soft meat. Accompanied by his mouth, it spread rapidly throughout his body. While eating the eagle, Yibei was shocked to find that the place he was scratched just now was healing at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the snake's skin on his body was obviously changing. It is thicker, and the length and thickness are also increasing rapidly. At this moment, Yibei ate harder. 10 minutes later, when the whole eagle was eaten by nothing, the snake body, which was originally only 1 meter long, grew to about 1.5 meters. The thickness has also become 10 centimeters. The strength of the body has increased by more than 10 times. If there is a chance to meet the eagle again, Yibei has 100% confidence to quickly kill him. Congratulations to the host for successfully eating the eagle and gaining 1,000 evolution points. May I ask whether the host has started the first stage of evolution? When Yibei was ecstatic because of the changes in his body, the voice of the system came directly. Hearing this voice, Yibei was even more excited. Start evolution on the mysterious desert island. Sunlight passed through the gaps in the leaves and sprinkled on a blood python. Maybe it's a crisis, and birds fly around from time to time. As for this island, some creatures that are far away, but are more vigilant, all instinctively looked in the direction where Yibei was. But this sense of danger only passed in a flash. Soon the animals returned to normal. Chi 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 chi. When Yibei spoke, the voice that came out was still the sound of a snake. However, after the sound fell, Yibei immediately felt that his entire body was wrapped in a warm current. This feeling is more comfortable than eating lingzhu before. It seems that every cell in the body is cheering, hot energy rushing wildly in the body. Mental power and vision have been improved as never before. Yibei, who was entrenched in his nest, has his eyes open. Even I saw ants crawling on the pole of a big tree more than 200 meters away. Great. Is this the feeling of evolution? That's great. In my mind, everything is occupied by cheering sounds. Chi 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 chi. The body is growing rapidly. The body was originally covered with messy patterns, and the lines on it became artistic. 1 meter 5, 2 meters, 3 meters. As the body grew longer, a layer of half a centimeter thick white snake skin was also fading from Yibei's body. Click, click. It's not just the body lengthening. The thickness of the body was also increasing rapidly, and the bones creaked, but it didn't hurt at all. I suddenly felt, even if there is a tiger in front of me now, it can be easily killed. About an hour later, a white snake's skin appeared beside his body. Yibei was entangled in the nest. His huge body filled the whole nest, and at least 2/3 of his body was wrapped around the tree stem. This increased pleasure made Yibei addicted. After the system has evolved, what abilities do I probably have now? After marveling at the magic of nature and his own powerful power, Yibei excitedly asked the system, The sound just fell. The fluorescent screen lights up again. Infinite evolution system. Name, eBay. Species, blood python. Age, under 1 year old. Young python. Lifespan, 20 years. Evolution points, 150/5000. Grade, LV1. Language, snake language. Ability, fangs. Apostle, none. Territory, none. Task. The host has completed the first stage of evolution, and the body has been strengthened successfully. Next is the second stage of evolution and the expansion of the territory. After the evolution is completed, it will become the Titan Python, and the territory is planned to be the entire island. After seeing this information, eBay, who was originally excited, realized that all this was just the beginning. The so-called evolution just now only improves physical fitness. I feel quite down. But soon, eBay's heart was more excited and excited. This is the first evolution, and the body has grown to 3 meters, almost 15 centimeters thick. If it keeps evolving and devouring it, wouldn't it be that one day your body will be invulnerable and the length will reach thousands of meters? On the whole Earth, no creature can stop one's steps? After thinking of this, eBay immediately became full of hope for the future. But in the same way, the mission of the system made eBay quite curious. Territory? What does this mean? As the host of the wireless evolution system, you naturally need to own your own territory. The so-called territory refers to the place the host rules. When the host successfully surrenders or eliminates all the creatures in this place, it will get the right to the territory. Within the territory, the host can ignore the distance, ignore the obstacles, see and hear the voices of other creatures, enter ideas, and communicate. And even the changes in nature can also adjust the host to a certain extent. The sound of the system was quite cold, as if it was just telling a common thing. But after eBay heard these words, his body was startled. Territory? So powerful? If this is the case, does it mean that if I have turned the entire Earth into my own territory, then everything on the Earth can't be hidden from me, and even the weather can be controlled at will? Is that special? Yes, it is God. Is there a time limit for this task? No, but the host will rule the island as soon as possible, and the system will give certain rewards at that time. The system decisively tempted. For example, what? Confidentiality. It was impossible to get some information from the mouth of the system, but at this time, eBay was quite excited. In fact, when the system revealed the function of territory, eBay had already made up his mind to take the entire island as fast as possible. Only in this way would his strength evolve even stronger. Rustling. After getting bigger, it was very easy to sit on the tree pole. Borrowing the muscles in the abdomen to twist, eBay is now moving very fast. But at this moment, eBay is crawling towards the top of the tree pole. Rather than continuing to devour creatures and gaining more powerful power, eBay now feels that it is more important to figure out the situation on this island first, and the best way to figure out the situation is to climb high to observe. The body twists. Under perfect power control, even if the tree pole is not very thick, it can easily bear the weight of eBay's body. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. When eBay successfully climbed to the top of the big tree, he looked at the scene in front of him. His eyes became extremely hot. The endless forest. In the distance of the forest, there is a blue ocean. From time to time, flocks of birds fly by in the air. The white clouds are like cotton candy. The forest that has just been washed by heavy rain exudes joyful vitality. It's really beautiful scenery, but here, it won't take long to become your own territory. Looking at the entire island condescendingly, eBay muttered. This feeling made him feel even more exciting than the expansion of the commercial territory. It's just that when his words just fell. Lee. In the sky, a black and huge shadow rushed towards eBay with a terrifying killing intent. There was a hint of cold in the air. Sitting at the top of the big tree, coupled with the evolution of eyesight, when the black shadow just passed by, eBay actually identified its species for the first time. This is a giant eagle. If it's not wrong, he was paired with the eagle that he had just killed. Dark wings. When it opened, from Yibei's current perspective, it was dark. The sharp claws seemed to be able to tear everything apart. That huge body is about twice the size of the eagle before. However, Yibei, who was entrenched at the top of the tree at this moment, had no fear. I just ate that eagle and gained 1,000 evolution points. To the next stage of evolution, 4,850 evolution points are needed. Such an eagle only needs to eat 5 to evolve again. And there are extra points. In Yibei's mind, there are all such calculated figures. He had just completed the first stage and was confident enough that as long as this eagle dared to fly over, he would stab it to death with his fangs. Wow! The giant eagle was still rushing quickly. 100 meters, 50 meters. Okay. But when the distance was less than 10 meters, Yibei's pupils stared, because he found that the claws of the giant eagle did not come at his body at all, but slammed in the direction of the tree pole. Does this guy want to break the branch? Then let himself fall from the giant tree and fall alive? Inside Yibei's head, a terrible thing came to mind. But this kind of thinking only passed quickly. Now, you are my prey. No matter what, as long as you dare to approach, you will definitely die. His eyes were bloodshot. The mouth is slightly open, and the sharp fangs seem to decay everything. Whoosh whoosh. Wow! The giant eagle flew by, with its wings in the air, producing a whistling sound. The next moment, its body slammed into the tree pole that Yibei was entwined with. With a crash, the tree pole broke. The opportunity is here. But at this moment, Yibei's eyes lit up. When the tree pole broke, the tail slapped fiercely on the tree pole, and the huge force made the snake body soar. Puff! The giant eagle swept past, but Yibei's entire body landed firmly on its back. Chi-chi! Immediately afterwards, the body twisted, and the body quickly entangled the body of the giant eagle while leaving a pair of wings for its movement. The giant eagle had never expected Yibei's reaction speed to be so fast. After being entangled, it realized that it was dead this time. With a mentality of revenge, it did not plan to land properly, but desperately fanned its wings and rushed toward the higher sky. Wow! Hoo-hoo! Wings flapped against the leaves and made a clattering sound, and when they rose quickly, the rush of wind in the ears. Court death. Realizing that something was wrong, a vigorous killing intent suddenly rose in Yibei's mind. Eyes are blood red. With a violent body force, the giant eagle sank. Laugh. In the next moment, Yibei opened his mouth, and his sharp fangs bit the giant eagle's neck unceremoniously. Laugh. The fangs pierced into the neck of the giant eagle, and the poison spread quickly. In just 2 seconds, the giant eagle lost its strength and quickly slid down towards the island. Yibei was tightly wrapped around the body of the giant eagle, allowing the giant eagle to resist the scratches of the branches below, and at the same time act as a meat cushion. Wow! Falling from the sky, a large number of branches were smashed to pieces. Boom! With the branches as a buffer, plus the giant eagle's body as a mat, and finally fell on the ground with a bang. Yibei only felt his body shook suddenly, and then his whole body became numb. Okay, it hurts. It seemed that the bones were all broken. But the giant eagle was even more miserable. Golyulu. What made Yibei feel speechless was that his body was in great pain, but after seeing the blood on the ground and the giant eagle that had just been killed by him, his stomach snorted again. The feeling of hunger spread all over the body. Can't help it. Let's eat this first. These are all evolutionary points. Holding back the pain in his body, Yibei opened his mouth and bit on the giant eagle. As the giant eagle's flesh melted in his mouth, Yibei could clearly feel a stream of pure energy spreading throughout his body, and his body that was originally painful had slowly returned to normal. Damn! If I eat creatures, can I quickly recover from injuries? While eating, Yibei said excitedly, Dear host, strictly speaking, as long as it does not suffer fatal injuries and gains energy through swallowing, it can heal the body extremely quickly. This recovery ability is a gift of the system. The system explained. Good stuff. Yibei nodded. As long as you eat, you can recover from the injury, which is quite good. Click, click, click. After getting the system's answer, Yi-Bei was not at all polite next. Using two sharp fangs, when swallowing the giant eagle, he kept making a clicking sound. The ground was covered with bright red blood stains. The air is also full of blood. All small animals approaching here seem to be frightened and quickly evacuated. 10 minutes later, when Yi-Bei swallowed all this giant eagle, his evolutionary points increased by a full 1,000 points. At the same time, he clearly felt that his physical fitness had been greatly improved again, but in terms of length and thickness, it remained the same. There is no change. This feeling of eating is really cool. Lying on the ground, his physical injuries completely recovered, Yi-Bei muttered to himself contentedly, looking at the crime scene, where only a pool of blood remained. Russell. However, just when Yi-Bei was about to slowly feel the kind of bravery after his body became stronger, he suddenly felt cold in his body, and a dangerous feeling rose from the bottom of his heart. At the same time, there was a faint rustling sound. Have enemies? Wow. In the next moment, the lower body was entwined together, and the upper body was directly erected. Scarlet eyes, staring at the source of the sound. Then, he clearly saw that a tiger with white fur, with wide-open eyes and cold eyes, was slowly walking towards him. And this tiger is completely different from the tigers that Yi-Bei has seen before. There are fangs more than 10 centimeters long on both sides of the mouth, sticking to saliva. The body shape is at least 3 meters long, and the height is about 1.5 meters. This form is definitely a monster for Yi-Bei now. This tiger, isn't it a mutation? Yi-Bei's heartbeat speeds up frantically. This forest is huge. Even if he was taken in midair by the giant eagle just now, Yi-Bei did not find the end. Same. The trees and some plants here are also huge. Chi-Chi. Sitting on the moist ground, Yi-Bei's mouth was open, but the body of the python spit out the letter out of instinct. Scarlet eyes, staring at the huge white fur tiger. Feeling the cold killing intent, at the same time, Yi-Bei also knew that he had been locked by the tiger, and it was basically impossible to escape. Wow. In the forest, the birds soared with a constant clatter. Occasionally, a few leaves were knocked down and fell on Yi-Bei's body, but he dared not move. Very concentrated. Zzz. The mutated white fur tiger made a slight movement. When it was walking, its feet stepped on the thick layer of leaves on the ground and made a sizzling noise. A mutant megatooth tiger is found, and if you swallow it, you will gain 3,000 evolution points. Warning: the mutant tiger is extremely dangerous. The giant teeth can tear steel. The host must be careful. Yi-Bei's eyes opened wide. The erect body is motionless, like a weird tree pole. Even the system's voice resounded in his mind. He didn't seem to hear it. Zzz. Zzz. Near. Only 100 meters. Wow. Finally, Yi-Bei saw the tiger speed up and walked through the forest. A large number of plants blocking the front were crushed, making a rattling sound. Roar. At the same time, a loud roar broke out from the tiger's mouth. The sound was so loud that the forest shook, and the surrounding big trees made a clattering noise, and the leaves on it fell like rain. Soon, the speed of this tiger was like a silver-white lightning, rushing towards Yi-Bei frantically. Nature is so cruel. Between creatures and creatures, there is only the relationship between hunting and hunting. This mutant tiger obviously treats Yi-Bei as a very delicious food. Its blood-red eyes, open mouth, and dripping saliva are all enough to see. Come out of its inner desire at the moment. Of course, Yi-Bei ignored the system's voice, just because there was only one thought in his mind. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. As long as he eats this mutant tiger, he will experience a qualitative change again. It was as if he had just eaten the spirit orb from the unknown giant snake when he was born from the shell. As for why this tiger has mutated, and why the plants in this forest look so huge, Yi-Bei doesn't care about this kind of problem. Swallow the giant snake. This is everything. The distance is getting closer. 50 meters. 30 meters. Roar. The mutant giant-toothed tiger opened its mouth wide, and a stench spread in the air, and a huge roar continued to erupt from his mouth. At the same time, his four claws also stretched out sharp thorns. Looking at this situation, it seemed that he wanted to rush over and tore Yi Bei's body to pieces. The toxin has been filled. My body is 3 meters in length and almost over 15 centimeters in diameter. When the body is half-standing, it is exactly 1.5 meters high. This distance can easily bite this tiger's neck. As for in terms of the body, the system has said that if you don't suffer fatalities, you will not die. Seeing that mutant tiger was about to rush over, Yi Bei's mind throbbed a lot of numbers. At the same time, his spirit maintained an unprecedented calmness at this moment. This is a contest between life and death, tolerant of carelessness. 10 meters. Roar. The tiger's roar continued. It seemed that it wanted to use this roar to distract Yi Bei. Wow. When the four legs stomped on the ground, a large number of dead leaves were torn to pieces, and the sound of clattering resounded through the forest. 5 meters. Who? The speed is too fast, the hair on the body is upright, and when the body rubs against the air, a whistling sound is produced. Okay. 1 meter. Yi Bei's eyes suddenly stared. The scarlet bloodshot seemed to overflow from the eyes. Chi. The two sharp fangs filled the toxins to the point, and even the tips of the teeth still carried a drop of dark yellow toxin. Booming. Finally, in the next instant, the mutant tiger rushed to Yi Bei's side. His blood basin opened wide, his sharp teeth biting on Yi Bei's body. Wow. While being bitten, Yi Bei felt his body numb, and the pain caused him to lose consciousness instantly. At the same time, the breath of death spread crazily in his mind. Can't die. Absolutely can't die. The current evolution has just begun. Will supports Yi Bei. No matter how the blood was splattering, Yi Bei, with the last trace of strength, was torn to pieces by the mutant giant-toothed tiger. At the same time, those two fangs also pierced through the thick fur of the mutant giant-toothed tiger. The poison was injected into the tiger's neck. Roar. The original rough roar was suppressed a lot at this time. When he was going to use the sharp claws to shred Yi Bei's body for the second time, the toxin spread directly in the mutant tiger's body, instantly causing it to lose its strength. Now Yi Bei, after his body evolved, the toxins naturally became a lot stronger. It is natural to poison a tiger to death. Ho ho ho. The roar is getting lower and lower, and finally it just becomes the sound that happens when the throat surges. Boom. He bit the mutant giant-toothed tiger's neck tightly and didn't loosen it. Yi Bei slowly let go until the giant-toothed tiger was poisoned, completely deactivated, and fell to the ground with a bang. He was bitten by a giant-toothed tiger. Half of his body was about to break, and the ground was full of blood. At this time, consciousness also gradually dissipated. But, eat it. Just eat it, and it will be better. In my mind, such voices kept resounding, relying on the last trace of strength. Yi Bei tried his best to open his mouth and bit towards the mutant megalodon. After the first bite of meat entered his mouth, he had already lost his strength. Yi Bei's eyes suddenly stared. An unprecedented power rushed into his body along with that piece of meat. What's going on? This tiger is absolutely extraordinary. Pile of leaves with a rotten smell. Because Yi Bei and the mutant giant-toothed tiger fought together, under this rotten smell, there was also a strong smell of blood. All the sapient animals around, all run far away, and they dare not even look. Click, click, click. As for Yi Bei at the moment, dragging the body, bite after bite swallowed the meat of the mutant giant-toothed tiger. It's strange. Yi Bei's body was torn apart from the middle, and the mutant tiger was terribly huge, but half of it was eaten by him. His belly was not big at all, and even the original torn place quickly grew new the meat came, and slowly became stronger. It's delicious, it tastes great. Is this tiger meat? With every bite, it's like a stream of cool energy spreading through the body. I feel that my body has become stronger again. While the devourer mutated the giant-toothed tiger meat, Yi-Bei, who had wide-eyed, kept making such noises in his mouth. This kind of meat, whether it is the taste or the kind of hot energy, is dozens of times better than the bird eggs and 2 eagles that have been eaten before, although eaten raw is very bloody. But at this moment, Yi-Bei didn't have the slightest consciousness. His eyes exuded cold aspects, and the corners of his mouth kept overflowing with bright red blood, completely indulging in it. 20 minutes. Yi-Bei ate this mutant giant-toothed tiger for 20 minutes before eating it completely. When he saw that there was only a pile of white bones left on the ground, Yi-Bei, whose body had grown 4 meters long, was entrenched in the pile of white bones and looked at his body with satisfaction. The injuries caused by the megalodon all healed. The length has grown to about 4 meters. The diameter of the body is 20 centimeters. The snake's skin has become more than 3 times harder. Ordinary daggers can hardly tear this thick layer of snake skin. The mouth is also much stronger. I feel that if the mouth is thick, it can be directly bitten into pieces. The overall strength of the body has also become a lot stronger. If there is an elephant in front of him and it is wrapped around its neck, it may be strangled alive. These are Yi-Bei's first feelings after eating the mutant megalodon. Of course. In addition, there was one thing that made Yi-Bei extremely excited. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring the mutant megatooth tiger and gaining 3,000 evolution points, which is only 950 points away from the next stage of evolution. Please keep up the work. The sound of the system resounded. Only 950 points are left until the next stage of evolution. In other words, then, as long as you find any creature to swallow it, you can complete the evolution. The system, if it evolves so fast, if I swallow all the creatures on this island in one day, wouldn't it be possible to easily complete several stages of evolution? Excited, Yi-Bei asked curiously. After all, this rate of evolution makes him very excited. Evolution is divided into stages. Host, now you are only evolving on the basis of blood pythons. This evolution will reach the limit. After all, your level is still LV1, which is also a way of evolution. When you reach the first stage of LV1 complete body, you will break through the species limit and your genes will undergo tremendous changes. What? Hearing this, Yi-Bei was surprised. Breaking through the restriction of species and carrying out genetic evolution, level LV1, is the beginning of evolution. To be honest, this result really shocked Yi-Bei. That is to say, my current stage of evolution is only evolving on the basis of the blood python. When the blood python evolves to the top, the level will be increased. What is my next level? Yi-Bei was quite curious. Titan python? So powerful? Just the Titan python? Yi-Bei's pupils shrank. Under normal circumstances, the blood python's body length is about 2 feet, and now it has reached 4 meters. With the help of the system, the stage evolution will obviously surpass the species itself. According to this ratio, once you really upgrade and become a Titan python, wouldn't it be hundreds of meters long? After thinking of this, Yi-Bei began to be faintly excited. However, if you look at it this way, there is still a long way to go. Host, calculated according to the system. If you want to break through the extreme evolution of the blood python, you must swallow all the species of the entire island. But before again, the host should complete the second stage of evolution of the blood python. The system is serious. As for Yi-Bei, after listening to it, his heart became even more excited. That's the Titan python, the legendary ancient species. Now the requirements are so simple, just swallow all the species on this entire island once. Then I know. I plan to turn this entire island into my private domain, Yi-Bei said decisively. Zzz. Then, the body entrenched on the ground moved quickly. His eyes were covered with bloodshot eyes, and his body also exuded a frightening chill. Blood python. The next step of eating is about to start soon. Wow. Zzz. This island is huge. Yi-Bei can't calculate how big it is. However, through the fluttering direction of the leaves and the slight cool sea breeze that his body felt, Yi-Bei was able to determine that the surrounding island was definitely an endless sea. In addition, the beasts on this island will mutate due to some special reasons, which is also very strange. Yi-Bei, who was just using his body to move fast, didn't think about it at all in his mind. But while looking for a creature that can be swallowed, while thinking about a strange thing, this is a mysterious island. So, will humans come to live? If there were no humans to settle down, maybe someone would come here to explore or survive in the wilderness. So, when you meet humans, should you eat or not? Yes, at this moment, Yi-Bei's head is all filled with such questions. Only soon, these problems all disappeared. After eating the mutant megatooth, Yi-Bei had moved a long distance, but he did not find any traces of creatures, which made him feel quite strange. System, why didn't you see other creatures? It's unscientific. After moving more than 300 meters, Yi-Bei couldn't help but ask. After all, within the observation range of his line of sight, there was still no living creatures in and out, and when he first came to this forest, Yi-Bei was 100% sure that there were a lot of living things in this forest. The mutant megalodon itself is the natural enemy of a large number of creatures. Any living species has the ability to perceive danger. This is the basic guarantee for survival. The current strength of the host is sufficient to deal with most of the forests. The creatures deal a devastating blow. They run away, which is very normal. What? After listening to the system explanation, Yi-Bei's eyes widened. Because of eating the mutant megalodon, while gaining self-protection strength, it also poses a terrible threat to the surrounding creatures. However, the main reason why the system made Yi-Bei's eyes widened was another point. Most creatures cause devastating blows. Then, in other words, there are still creatures on this island that can pose a threat to themselves. The stronger the swallowed creature, the more evolution points will be gained. At this moment, Yi-Bei's heartbeat quickened, and he was about to move. So, the system, since ordinary creatures take the initiative to avoid me, you should be able to tell me exactly what powerful creatures there are on this island, right? Yi-Bei was shaking his fists. A python that does not want to evolve quickly is definitely not a good python. Leapfrog challenge. Crush the strong. This is interesting. However, just when Yi-Bei was about to go for a big fight, the system responded unceremoniously. Sorry, all creatures on the island must rely on the host to explore on their own, and the system does not provide any help for this. Rejected very decisively. Okay. Yi-Bei was planning to do a big job, and when he heard this, he immediately turned off. For the rest of the time, hunting creatures is much harder. More than an hour passed before Yi-Bei swallowed a rabbit and gained 100 evolution points. When Yi-Bei was about to reach a certain place, the creatures there reacted extremely quickly and evacuated immediately. Only a small number of unresponsive creatures will be left behind. In this difficult environment, Yi-Bei always counts time. When 8 hours, 23 minutes, and 5 seconds passed, and his evolution point reached 4,980, he finally found a pheasant that was alone. Cuckoo. Cuckoo. The pheasant's tail is very long, and the meat on its body is very fat. It is estimated that it feels danger, and its mouth makes a cooing sound. The wings spread out, wanting to fly away. Eat and eat. As for Yi-Bei, the moment he saw this pheasant, there was only this word in his mind. As long as he eats pheasants and gains evolution points, he can complete the second stage of evolution of the blood python. After waiting for almost 9 hours, Yi-Bei is very excited now. Who? He twisted his body quickly. A powerful force broke out. In the next instant, Yi-Bei's body swished directly towards the pheasant. He also opened his mouth wide. 2 sharp fangs were exposed, which was terrifying. The 4-meter-long python is not a playful thing. After locking the pheasant, within 2 seconds, Yi-Bei swallowed the pheasant all in one bite. The delicious meat runs through the mouth. But Yi-Bei didn't slowly appreciate the beauty of food as before. When the pheasant was swallowed, the system sound immediately sounded. Host, congratulations on successfully swallowing a pheasant, gaining 20 evolution points, and the total evolution points has reached 5,000 points. May I start phase evolution? The system voice was faintly excited. This is unprecedented. Of course. Turn it on now. Host. The second stage of evolution takes time. Once it is turned on, it will enter the dormant period. The evolution time is 8 to 12 hours. Please choose a safe place to start the evolution. The system reminded. Hibernation? Yi-Bei opened his mouth, and the scarlet letter continued to spit out. In other words, during the dormant period, once any creature attacks me, I cannot resist? Yes, the host. After entering the dormant period, unless the evolution is completed, the body will not be controlled by consciousness. Okay. Yi-Bei nodded. In my mind, I was wondering where to find a safe place that would not be discovered by any other creatures. This forest is huge. But the more this happens, the more danger lurks. However, in order to be able to evolve quickly, Yi-Bei tried his best. After more than 5 hours of struggle, he found a huge stone, then used his teeth little by little to make a big hole where the stone touched the ground, then stuffed his body in, and gave the hole with his head. Blocked, completely disconnected from the outside world. And this is the end. It should be safe here, right? Hiding in the dark cave, Yi-Bei muttered to himself. Then, let's start the second stage of evolution. The voice was excited. The system has created such a big battle. Yi-Bei is also very curious what kind of improvement he will get after the evolution is completed. While the sound fell, a powerful energy hit Yi-Bei's body in an instant. In the dark cave, Yi-Bei's eyes instantly widened. Pitch black. There is no light. In this environment, breathing becomes a little difficult. In order to ensure safety, Yi-Bei only left a small thumb-sized vent. And when evolution started, that powerful energy swept through the body wantonly. This kind of energy made Yi-Bei extremely excited. I originally thought that the so-called hibernation was directly falling asleep, but now the situation is completely different. Yi-Bei realized that only his body was unable to move, but his consciousness was extremely clear. This kind of clarity even reached a terrifying point. Obviously, this cave is extremely dark, but those wide-open eyes can see everything clearly. Topsoil. Small rocks mixed in the soil. Rotten leaves. It can even clearly smell a faint rancid smell. Of course. What shocked Yi-Bei the most was elsewhere. Obviously, the cave was completely sealed off before, but Yi-Bei was able to see the scene outside the cave very clearly. For example, there is an unknown plant growing at the entrance of the cave, which is rustling under the wind. Ants have been climbing on the leaves of plants. A bigger wind blew by, and the ants were blown away directly. Farther away, a small insect appeared. It was only the size of a thumb and was gnawing at a leaf. The teeth, which were as small as the tip of a needle, quickly cut marks on the leaf. And on that leaf, there was a cocoon wrapped in silk threads 10 times thinner than hair. Chi-Chi. The cocoon was moving, and there was a scoffing sound. Yi-Bei could hear it clearly. Time is passing fast. 10 minutes. Half an hour. 2 hours. The cocoon finally had a breakthrough change. A butterfly with 2 long tentacles stretched out from it, and then the head, the wet body. When the whole body appeared, the butterfly stood in the cocoon. Outside the shell, his body was shaking. Soon, a pair of colorful and eye-catching wings appeared. The butterfly flew, reborn from a cocoon by an inconspicuous insect. However, the butterfly just flew less than 1 meter. Laugh. A bird washed down from the sky. He opened his mouth and swallowed the butterfly in one bite. Yes, it is so magical. It is so incredible. It's just that for the sights of the outside world, Yi-Bei can only see the sights within a radius of 10 meters, but those sights are like the deepest memories, completely integrated into his mind, and no detail is overlooked. If this body is human, how powerful is it? It's an incredible power. If it is known by the human science academies, it will definitely be crazy. Unbelievable. But nature is really cruel. I feel that my body is undergoing a transformation, a miraculous transformation, but this is definitely not enough. I want to live and become stronger. This evolution is just the beginning. Even if I become a Titan Python, not enough. Feeling the surrounding environment in the cave, in Yibei's heart, many thoughts emerged. Click, click. Consciousness finally recovered from the outside scene. Although the body cannot move, it seems that the surface of the body is petrified during the evolution, and then layers of white snake skin are formed, and finally the snake skin clicks and cracks, revealing new snake meat. This scene Yibei could see clearly. The skin after fading the white snake skin is full of metallic luster. At the same time, it also gave Yibei a hard feeling, as if directly using a sharp blade, it might not be able to cut the skin. In addition to changes in body skin, Yibei even clearly saw that his eyes were changing. The scarlet pupils slowly turned into pitch black, as if they were an abyss. The sharp gaze, even if Yibei saw it by himself, could produce fear. When the treasure chest was opened on both sides of the mouth, the cobra fangs obtained became much longer, and all the blood stains on it disappeared. Sharp, sharp, hanging down to the chin, in the middle of the teeth, there is a very small venom tube. Time is still passing. 7 hours, 8 hours. It is estimated that during the evolution, the body breath dropped to 0, and many creatures appeared outside the cave. At last, 9 hours later, the body that has not felt anything suddenly felt sore, like a human being sitting in a sitting position for a long time. When it moves, it will become numb and then sore. But now, this pain made Yibei extremely excited, because at the same time that this feeling appeared, the voice of the system also resounded in his mind. Congratulations to the host for completing the second stage of evolution. A very simple sentence. What abilities have I improved now? Yibei asked expectantly while trying to restore his body's sensitivity. You must know that when evolving just now, you watched the whole process. Every place on your body has changed. It is because of too much that Yibei will ask the system. The second stage of evolution of the blood python is mainly to strengthen the body comprehensively. The host is currently 4 meters and 5 meters in length, and the average body diameter is 25 centimeters. The weight is 120 kilograms. The skin can easily withstand the scratches of sharp weapons, and the bite is increased by 5 times. That is, the host can easily remove stones the bite is broken. In addition, the visual aspect is raised to 300 meters, and the consciousness sensor is raised to 10 meters. And the host can decide whether to hide the body's killing intent. The system explained quickly. This long paragraph made Yibei extremely excited. Consciousness induction should be the kind of ability that can detect everything within 10 meters of the surroundings without going through the eyes. Hidden killing intent, this is even more powerful. Before, Yibei could not catch prey. A large part of the reason was that the killing intent he emitted was too strong. Many animals were innately alert. Before Yibei appeared, he would have escaped long ago. Far. With this ability, Yibei has the strength to quietly approach any enemy without being discovered. All in all, this evolution is really powerful enough. Yibei was excited. Okay. Just as he was succumbing to the excitement of this powerful force, great changes suddenly occurred outside the cave. Pairs of red, shiny eyes staring at this side. Hoo-hoo. In the forest, a gust of cold wind blew through, making a whirring sound. After 9 hours of evolution, the forest at this time has reached night. But darkness did not have much impact on the snake, not to mention that Yibei could still use his consciousness to observe the surrounding environment. Oh! Outside the cave, there were a pair of cold, bloodthirsty, flushing eyes. Staring at the place where Yibei was, the wailing sounds continued to resound throughout the forest. Wolves! Yes, surrounded by wolves. Yibei glanced at it roughly, and there were at least 200 wolves. As for why they appeared here, it's probably because Yibei didn't hide his killing intent just after the evolution was completed, and after the evolution, the powerful vitality made this group of wolves have peeping thoughts. The group of wolves stared at Yibei's cave. In the same way, Yibei at this moment, with cold eyes and violent killing intent, was even more terrifying than the wolf pack. These wolves came just right. They just completed the second stage of evolution, and their physical strength has become a lot stronger. According to the system, the wolf's teeth can't have any effect on their body at all. Trying their strength is just right. Chi. In the dark lair, Yi-Bei whispered to himself. The sound turned into a scoffing sound. Oh, oh. The wolves surrounding them kept roaring. So, let's get started. After feeling that his body was almost recovered and he could move around easily and freely, Yi-Bei said coldly to himself. Immediately afterwards, the body slammed hard. Booming. The huge stone above the lair directly rumbling loudly and then rolled aside. Immediately afterwards, the nest seemed to explode and a lot of mud splashed. Wow. As for the wolves surrounding, seeing this scene, they instinctively backed away. In the eyes, there was a trace of fear, and at the same time, it was more greedy. The biological instinct told them that the giant snake in front of them was very dangerous, but the meat of this snake was absolutely delicious. And it also contains huge energy. As long as you eat this snake meat, everyone will become stronger. This is the reason why these wolves are desperate for it. Pooh! The rock on the body flew away. Mud splashes. After completing the evolution, they walked out of the dark lair, entwined each other for the second half of their lives, and stood upright on their upper body. Under this situation, Yi-Bei exhaled loudly. The powerful force wandered through the body, and every breath was majestic and powerful. This feeling of being alive made Yi-Bei tremble with excitement. Host, so far you have completed the second stage of evolution. It takes 100,000 evolution points to reach the third stage of evolution of the blood stubborn. Because of the effects of the swallowed species before, if you swallow the wolf in front of you, each head will be the host provides 100 evolution points. When Yi-Bei was preparing to do a big fight, the voice of the system immediately rang in his head. Hearing this voice, Yi-Bei was taken aback for a moment. In the beginning, only 1,000 evolution points were needed. Why has it become 100,000 now? This multiplier is too unreasonable. Also, before eating an eagle, you can get 1,000 points. Are these wolves inferior to eagles? The host can rest assured, these are the most reasonable calculation methods that have been strictly analyzed by the system. According to the judgment, there are 311 wolves in front of you, and one of them is the Wolf King. Swallowing 311 heads is enough to get 31,000 points, and the Wolf King has a special reward. In addition, the eagle that the host swallowed before was not an ordinary eagle, but a black eagle. The combat power is definitely more powerful than the wolf. Black eagle? Isn't that a national protected animal? However, after listening to the system's words, Yi-Bei was convinced. This system is well-founded, and it also relies on data to prove. If you look at it this way, these 100,000 points don't seem to be a lot. However, if it really reaches 100,000 to complete the evolution, and then the next stage of evolution is carried out in the future, will it become 1,000,000 points? 10 million points? Thinking of this, Yi-Bei couldn't help shaking his head abruptly. Forget it. Let's talk about these wolves first. Chi. With this thought, Yi-Bei opened his eyes decisively, and the scarlet letter was spit out from his mouth. The sound of scoffing, accompanied by the sound of falling leaves around him, was full of solemn and weird atmosphere. The erect body is not afraid of the wolves. This situation, if it were in human form, Yi-Bei would definitely think he was dead. But now, if you don't accept the food delivered to your door, it will be too shameful. Chi. The voice turned into a bloodthirsty scoff. Whoa! The surrounding wolves grinned and kept roaring. This kind of formation, changing to be the Lion King of the forest, would have to panic, but Yi-Bei didn't dare to face these wolves. Laugh. Open this mouth wide. Two sharp fangs were exposed. The lower body, entrenched on the ground, used fierce force. In the next instant, Yi-Bei's body turned into a pitch-black shadow and rushed towards the wolf nearest to him. Fast, too fast. This speed made Yi-Bei excited himself. Obviously, it is the body of a snake, but using the speed of muscle movement, it can easily surpass the limit of human beings. The moment it rushes past, its open mouth and sharp fangs bit the neck of a wolf with extremely precision. Toxin injected in. At the same time, because of evolution, the bite force increased sharply. Click. Biting the wolf's neck. After a little force, it clicked. Then all the wolves around were dumbfounded. Even Yi-Bei himself was a little confused. Because of the bite, at the moment the toxin was injected, the wolf's entire head was directly bitten and burst into blood. At the same time, a burst of blood sprayed from the torn neck suddenly, and the air was filled with richness. The smell of blood. Too violent. After seeing this scene, Yi-Bei swallowed, and finally swallowed wolf blood. He was still confused. After drinking the wolf blood, hot and pure energy spread all over his body, and then Yi-Bei directly focused his eyes on the following wolves. A tragic massacre began in an instant.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.